Welcome back in Strategy Gamers, and we are back with the Last Starship, and you may notice that we are back with a starting ship. Why is that? Well, the reason is I did play through the chunk of the story. I wasn't massively happy with some of the design choices I made, and I don't think that would be a great visual for you guys, so I'm going back to the start. Don't worry, I'm going to set the ship up, I'll show you what the ship looks like, and then I'll jump ahead to the completion of Wolf in Sheep's Clothing Part 1, so you don't have to repeat that part of the story, and I'll push forward from there. But the ship is going to be better set up. I've learned more from that 5-10 hours of play. I think you'll enjoy it. You will be back in no time. I'll be back in 10 minutes when I have the ship set up to show you what it looks like, and then I'll advance forward an hour or so to do the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. One moment. And here is the initial setup of the Ulysses, our new home. You can move the engines. You don't have to leave them in the starting place, so I've moved them to the back, and I've got a fuel tank, so I want the fuel unloaded. This will not give you the downtime of losing your power when you were loading a fuel in. Put the fuel in a tank. We will very quickly look to get gas connectors going, so we can start generating our own fuel. We have some CO2. We have water being loaded. I'll then shift the loader to unload CO2, so we can sell CO2 until we can repair reprocessors. 40k, they're not cheap. We've got some oxygen, we've got a little bit of dronage, and we've also taken out these walls here. Pointless kind of little space that they had here with the wall. So that is gone. Now, removing internal walls does lower your toughness. Adding habitation reduces your toughness. We've moved the ladder from being up here to being here by the docking port so that passengers get on and off quicker. We have not been able to afford scoop to begin with. That will be a very early requirement. So gas collecting and scoop will be super early requirements, but we have loads of mission on board. We have 2 passenger gigs ready to go. Back when we have made some money, you can see the rest of the ship at the conclusion of Wolf Part 1. So what I acquired from the start of the Wolf and Sheep Clothing, the first ship you have to take, the Interstellar Prospector, I got an extra battery, an extra gas collector, a huge tank, and 2 thrusters is what I ended up with. Grabbing all the scrap, and then we'll continue. 2 more ships recovered, and we have now also acquired an additional wastewater treatment machine, which will sell a sofa, hang on to it, and a short robot arm, as well as 1 more door. Fair enough. Nothing special. It's not like this run we hit a fusion reactor. And there we have the completion of Wolf in Sheep Clothing Part 1. Brings us back to as far as we were on our first Polish episode, so we can go forward from here perfectly. We have got some smelting going. We are making our own FDLs. We have some gas collection. We're making fuel, so we're positive on fuel. Oxygen generation from CO2. We have water generation from sewage, wastewater. Our oxygen is dipping, so we're not net positive on oxygen. We do have quite a number of civilians on board, 50. We are not net positive on water generation either at the moment, but we have a huge tank for each, plenty of room. Our fuel tank is nearly full, so we'll need another fuel tank. We have some batteries, 3 reactors. We already have science started, and we have completed the first stage of reactor efficiency and smelter efficiency. After that, I do want to start getting habitation more efficient, but I think I'll start with drone speed and then I'll go habitation. But we have a bit of money. I think the next thing to do is to progress Trouble with Tiddlets mission. Let's go. Getting a call from Professor Artemis Toppingbury. What is a ship like yours doing all the way out here? Maybe you can help. I'm looking for creatures that usually live on small isolated asteroids like the one in this system. If you find anything, make sure to tell me. So we go tactical, find his asteroid, his comet, here it is here, throttle up, we can see his 2 little friends there and there. This is clearly the Trouble with Tribbles reference from Classic Trek, and much like the Classic Trek, these guys will replicate. Yeah, my gods, you found them. Oh god, they're still alive? Oh Jesus, there's 2 of them. Captain, you've made an incredible discovery. We have seen these interstellar life forms before on large asteroids deep in uncharted space, but never alive. And you found a pair. We call them the Tiddlets. Accept the mission. I should introduce myself. My name is Artemis Toppingbury, and I'm the professor at the Institute of Interstellar Life Forms. We've been trying to find a live Tiddlet for years now. This is a massive breakthrough. Bring the Tiddlets on board carefully using a logistics drone. Once you have them, meet me at the Institute for Interstellar Life Forms. We're at Starbase NG5. Okay, these are all like tutorial kind of missions. So it tells you to acquire drone base. We've already done that. We needed that to do Sheep Wolf's Clothing. So we've got Captain, we're ready to continue our hunt for the pirate vessel. Please meet me at the marked location. Okay, we're going to park you. We're going to advance Trouble with Tiddlets and the Black Hole, and then we'll go swing back to Wolf and Sheep Clothing. Now, we have boat on board. Dot, travel to where he is. Line the ship and jump. So we are collecting isotopes. We are turning them into stable isotopes, and with the combination of some Tillium crystals, turning those into FDL charges. Deliver the Tiddlets. You've managed to bring them back. Amazing. I'll be here in a second. He'll fly over now. Always grab seeds. Okay, I would look to grab more hydroponic gardens, but this one isn't full. Though I do have plenty of seeds. So I could do it some compost, I think. I'm not producing a huge amount. And the supercomputer is going to be required soon enough from a research point of view. This is the greatest day of my life. To be the first to discover and study an entirely new life form, one native to deep space. Think of all we can learn from these creatures. Who discovered them? Who found them? I mean, you'll get some credit for finding them, of course, but I've been waiting my whole life for a moment like this. Cool. 50k for the first part of this mission. There's more to this mission. So you're going to unlock it. Now we need to look. Now we know where to look. We may be able to find more of them in deep space. The asteroid where you found them has a large iron and aluminium core, which are unusual crystalline structures on the outside. There are similar asteroids within this sector that have been recorded and scanned. Nobody would bother trying to mine such worthless rocks. They might have more if we look too closely. I think it's worth searching there for more of these creatures. Okay, so it gives us 3 asteroids to search, 4 asteroids to search, and then deliver Tiddlets back to him. Sector map. And there we go. They're over here. Ready to jump. Something I need from we'll need to start thinking about weapons soon enough. There's a case to be made for another docking bay on the other side. I wouldn't mind another drone bay and some more drones. So I have 8 on board. That would bring me to 10. So docking port as a pair. I need to move the crate by the looks of it. Drone bay here anyway. And then let's get my storage crate back in. And was there any more crates here actually? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll put this right there. Hook up the drone bay. So our CO2 is not going down, so that's perfect. If we wanted, we could sell some CO2. Okay, let's make jump. On the asteroid. Looks like there's 4 of them over here. This is going to advance the story a lot. You'll see why in 1 second. Come on, bring it back. Okay, I now have more than 2 on board. Let's jump to the next spot. 4 Tiddlets on board. Oh god, the Tiddlets! Oh my goodness, I hope they're okay. What happened? Are you kidding me? They've reproduced? We've just witnessed an interstellar life form spontaneously reproducing. Oh, this is such incredible news. And what was the condition? Maybe these ones were already fertile and pregnant? Did you see any mating behaviors? I need to do some analysis. Keep looking, Captain. Bring them all back to me when you're done. I now have 11 on board, not 4. And there should be another rock out here. There we go. Another 4 over here. Speed it up. The engines. Okay, we got all those on board. Off to the next one. And where's this rock? Up here. Prepare to jump to the last one. No, Captain, what happened? The damage. What did you do? It looks like they died of shock during hyperspace jump. Oh goodness, this is such terrible news. Did any of them survive? We'll have to be so careful from now on, Captain. I suggest a maximum hyperspace jump range of 480 light years. While you have these creatures on board, we can't let any more of them perish this way. So we're down to 34. Go tactical. Grab the last 2. There we go. Now we have this arc, which is our 480. And to make the jump to here, so we might as well make the jump to Harkin to progress that story. Thank you for coming, Captain. We have been attempting to track the pirate vessel down, but to no avail. We keep arriving at the scene to find destroyed ships with no trace of the pirates. We need you to... This is Captain Amelia Riker of the UMC vessel Orion Sentinel. We're under attack. They appeared out of nowhere and fired upon us without warning. They won't respond to any of our communications. I'm trying to hold them off, but I need help. My engines and damaged. Ship systems have failed. Please hurry. I have 40 crew on board. This is now an urgent humanitarian rescue mission. If we respond quickly enough, we may just be lucky and find a crew that we can rescue. You'll need to acquire at least 4 maneuvering thrusters to dock with Captain Riker's ship. Yep, already got that done. We have 10. Time is running out. Send the ship to the Orion Sentinel and provide whatever help you can before it's too late. Looking at the map, he is... where? There. Okay, so that's way outside the range of what I'm allowed to jump. I need to get back to the other side of the sector in short jumps. Don't worry, they're under attack right now, but they'll wait for us to make our time to get over there. So we had a mission that we can turn in here. You're going to 5, you're going to 14. Well, see, if I go here, it will trigger the start of that mission as well. But we could go out to 7, I think, which is a rescue mission. 15. Okay, they didn't go on fire, but there are now more of them. How many of them are? Presumably they're eating up my oxygen. There should be a derelict over here. And if we had brought mining lasers, we'd be able to start mining. So this sector has metal over here, more metal, precious ore, tillium, precious ore, tillium, copper, precious ore. Okay, so there's nowhere we can sit in this sector and get metal and copper or metal and precious. This area over here is pretty good with precious, copper, tillium. Okay, hoover up what's already been mined. And... well, Goose gonna do anything interesting? No. Okay. Can't reach there. That's frustrating. So... well, sorry, we're trying to get up. So we can hit the Orion Sentinel. Now, hostile ship. Well, we've no weapons. What are we gonna do? We're being fired upon. Captain, thank goodness you're here. Help us. We won't last much longer. Let's see if we can just get across and dock, taking damage. Now, I want to add a tactical, change my drones to only repair hull, so they don't take damage. But look, pirate is running away. That's why I knew I could get here without a weapon. It looks like they turned and ran away when they saw you arrive, Captain, but my ship is on the brink. The reactor won't hold out much longer. To rescue the crew, you'll need to get close and initiate docking procedure. Use your maneuvering thrusters and align the docking port with ours in tactical mode. So, have you revealed where it is yet? I'll get the crew ready to evacuate. Please hurry. New objective, dock. Don't need tutorial. There we go. Okay. Now we can... there we come. And docked. Yes, I have put in a bit of practice and got better at docking. The reactor is reaching critical levels, Captain. I can't stop it from overloading. I'll try and buy you a few more seconds, but it's going to go critical any moment. Get to a safe distance as soon as you can, Captain. Save my crew. Okay, undock. We have closed that, open this. We have all 40 on board. Undock. Safe distance, as you see, is actually kind of irrelevant. And let's let the drones leave. Well done, Captain. Your intervention prevented a further loss of life, and we now know the pirate vessel is crewed by cowards, a fact that we intend to use to our advantage. In the meantime, save the survivors, take the survivors to the nearest shipyard or colony and drop them off there to close the contract. We're going to acquire some loot first. Just thruster our way slightly closer to it. We've picked up an engine, a hyperspace sensor, which will sell. It has no purpose in this mode. It's used in the survival mode. Looks like we've got all of the scrap, and we can now reach the doctor. And we can unload passengers, and we can deliver the Tiddlets. Who's getting there first? We have 246 Tiddlets on board. I'm going to buy a supercomputer now as well, and I'm going to sell the hyperspace sensor. And I might as well install that engine. I appreciate your speed in rescuing the crew of the Orion Sentinel, Captain. Regretfully, I must inform you that Captain Riker does not appear to be among the survivors. Her sacrifice will be remembered. We don't know when or where the pirate vessel will strike again, but we must be prepared. The more we analyze their attack, the more obvious the pattern becomes. Thank you, Captain. Protect your fleet and wait for our call. So that's completed, and we get 250,000. And all the Tiddlets are now leaving. Look at the little joyful old boys bounce off. Incredible work, Captain. I can't believe how much we've seen in such a short period of time. I've been analyzing the onboard sensor data while you've been traveling around. They don't exhibit any sort of physical mating behavior, but there is a detectable energy exchange going on, and always between groups of 3. They must be reproducing through some form of telepathy, and only in triplets, and only in hyperspace. No wonder they're such a rare creature. These findings will make an incredible research paper, Captain. I'll be sure to credit you as the pilot who found the first living specimens. I would offer to name the creatures after you, but they've already have a name, so apologies for not being able to honor you with that tradition. You'll be getting a call from Dr. Swanson very soon. He funds my lab and all my research. I've talked him into directing some of our research grant to you as a fair reward. Commander, I'm busy. Captain, we've hatched a plan that we believe will catch the pirate vessel in the act. Please come to see us and we will explain the mission objectives. Travel to our ship. Captain, on behalf of the Institute for Interstellar Life, thank you. A monumental discovery. Now let's talk real. Scientists like Artemis like to take all the credit and bask in the glory of their peers. If your name does show up in their research paper, you can bet it will be on the very last page in the smallest font available. And despite funding his work for years now, my name will be even lower. It's fine, really. We have different aims. He can have the glory. I'm interested in the breakthroughs, the science that comes from these discoveries, the potential. Anyway, thank you for your work, Captain. Here's a reward for your efforts. Install supercomputer. Which doesn't actually need to be near the science station. It's just visually appealing to have it there. I could, fit it back here. Captain, we're hoping to run some more experiments on the new life forms I discovered. The Toppingberry Tiddlet. If you could visit my institute, I have a contract that may be of interest to you. Okay, we're already here. Accept. Welcome back, Captain. I must say, the corridors at the Institute have been alive with excitement over the wondrous new life form. My paper is already being provisionally accepted into all the top nature journals, which makes me so proud. Word on the grapevine is that the Nobel Prize Committee may be looking at our work. Exactly. So we must continue this important research. We have a great deal of data already, but we need to take some more measurements and refine some of our estimates. We are particularly interested in the reproductive process. We're going to send you a batch of Toppingberry Tiddlets, and we want you to run a series of tests on them under hyperspace conditions. We're also sending you a pair of specially modified science stations with a sensor attuned to their telepathic reproductive process. I wrote the firmware myself and will be able to see deep into their minds with this magical process takes place. We receive 8 Tiddlets, we receive 2 telepathic sensors. We need you to take the Tiddlets on a series of specific hyperspace jumps. We'll be recording the effect of their reproductive process on their physiology. All well, most of these experiments could be done hopefully without any harm coming to the creatures. We need to zero in on exactly how long the Tiddlets can survive in hyperspace. This will regrettably require you to jump beyond the safe distance and to record the effect on their telepathic process. Some of the Tiddlets may be lost in the process of this experiment. That does make me quite uncomfortable, but with your permission we can begin to install the new sensors first, Captain, and be sure to stock up on the FDL fuel you'll need. Let's install his telepathic sensors. We got a bit of space right here and right here. They need power. Now we're going to need to defend our ship as well. Not for this mission, but we've already been in combat. It's time to add some defense. The Gatling gun fires bullets. It doesn't require manning. It's automatic and it's useful against asteroids as well. So we'll want to get quite a few of these. We'll grab all 6 of these. I'm going to grab 2 railguns and 2 cannons. Let's grab a munitions bench so we can start making our own bullets. We could grab the weapon station as well, and then weapons officer to man it. Can't afford all of this, so we're going to drop weapon station and the weapons officer. But we will increase our crew to 10, to 8. Now let's look at where we're supposed to be going. Okay, we need to install the stations, then we'll get the call. Let's start simple. A couple of medium range hops should do the trick. Well, Commander Harkin is in the range, so we might as well progress that story as well. Excellent, the sensor is working nicely and we've received science packets. Let's do one more medium range to gather some more data. She should give us a call as well. Captain, it's time to hold this pirate vessel to account for all the damage they've done and all the lives they've taken. The UMC Astral Temptress is the bait in our trap. It's a long-haul commercial freighter that was due to be scrapped. We want you to take the Astral Temptress and travel through the most remote, unprotected locations in the sector. Look busy, look like you're going somewhere, and bait them out of hiding. They won't be able to resist such an easy target. What they won't realize is that you'll be carrying several tons of advanced military-grade weapon systems ready to be installed and activated the moment that they come in close. And we have one final trick to buy you some time before the cavalry arrives. We can reverse the energy field in the ship's FTL drive and trigger a massive burst of EMP energy, enough to disable their FTL and prevent any chance of escape. Your own ship will lose power too, but in the calamity that follows, you'll have time to fit your weapon systems and prepare for a tough fight. You have to hold them off for a couple of minutes. My strike force will perform a combat drop virtually on top of you, and then the tables return in our favor. Okay, so we have to dock and we have to put across at least 5 crew. Remember, the pirate vessel will not show themselves unless the Astral Templates is alone and unarmed. Good hunting. Okay, so I think before we do that, we are going to progress your man's mission. But let's dock anyway, because we can fly in formation and then just leave this at... Now, fleet logistics, we have to send some crew over. They want 5 to progress the mission. That would be like most of our crew, like all of our crew. I'm just going to give them 2 for now. We're going to undock. We're going to leave it at this colony. Pair jump, and then we can hit the checkbox and both ships will align. That only uses 1 FTL. Now, let's have a quick look at the Astral. Does it have a docking bay? It doesn't. So it does need some more crew. I can acquire crew. No, I can't. I'll need to do some missions with the main ship. It is just a transport vessel. I am an armed vessel. Oh, I haven't installed my weapons. Okay, let me install these weapons. Back 1 sec. 26 Tiddlets so far. This is working very well, Captain. Now on to the real science. We'd like to see the effect of a very short hop. We want to know if there's a minimum hyperspace distance below which the reproductive process does not occur. Make the jump and let's see what will happen. Okay, we have the weapons installed and we're acquiring some ammunition for them. Now, he just wants a short hop. The only place we can go and achieve that is NG31. Just wait for all our bullets to be loaded. To afford it, we sold a lot of metal ingots. Okay, we can make our jump. 57 Tiddlets now on board. Fascinating, Captain. It appears the Tiddlet reproductive process occurs even at incredibly short hyperspace distances. How'd you find the time? I'll hand you over to my colleague for the final experiment. Captain, the professor has asked me to oversee this phase of the experiment. I need you to make a long distance jump beyond the safe Tiddlet distance. We need to know what happens to them under the effects of hyperspace shock, and this will also help us calculate that safe distance more accurately. Get into position and make the long range jump. So we need to go somewhere far away. Oh, we have passengers looking to go to 9. So we're going to see Tiddlets explode. And we went from 57 down to 31. 26 died. 28 of the Tiddlets appear to have perished. This is such a horrible thing to witness. We can't allow this sort of experiment to be done again, Doctor. It's so unethical. The sensor data suggests that telepathic mating ritual does begin during the longer jump, but the telepathic energy induced between them produces so much heat at their core that they ultimately catch fire and burn out from the inside. One can only imagine what that must feel like. There's something else. There's a reading showing up on the sensors deep inside the core of the dead Tiddlets. Bring them back to me, Captain. I think we've done enough for today. Okay, return the bodies. Close that. We can hand those people back. We can accept some more cargo. We can accept making bullets mission as well. What's the turn on this? Not great. NG3 and NG11. We could do our first combat. Test out our setup. Okay, I think we got to fly here first, which is beyond the safe distance. Let's see if I get given out to for that. Okay, I have a weapons bench. I can set that to bullets. Does require explosives. I don't have explosives. What can I make without? I can make railgun slugs. Okay. Another chemical lab, so I can make explosives. Deliver the Tiddlets. Here, jump back the other way. Need all Tiddlets off, dead and alive. Okay, we're not getting the bonus for that. That's fine. We've made another interesting discovery. Our sensors were correct. It appears some type of tiny crystal has been formed at the core of several dead creatures, almost like a small diamond. It must have formed in the final moments of their life. All that telepathic energy focused into a lethal feedback loop. Our lab tells us the crystals aren't like anything we've ever seen before. Let's get the remaining samples in for analysis. Thank you, Captain. Part 2 of Trouble Tiddlets complete. 250k. Very helpful. Then we can get our weapons officer and control. We can buy some more munitions. Set this one up to make explosives. So it needs find, which is you. And then I want to put a small storage crate beside here. We'll have jobs go here and here. And we go here. We'll start Deep Space Industrialists. But let's hop back to the UMC. So it has FDL. It has its 5 crew. It needs to just make some trips. We've received intel that this system is too special to risk luring the pirate here. Try to avoid systems with other important activity. Because of the mining, okay. Swordfish. This system is exactly the kind where the pirates might attack. Keep looking busy and travel to another empty system. The pirates may already be on your trail. Then down to here. Hostile found. Commander. We found them. This is our shot. Charge the MP weapon and get ready to hit them where it really hurts. Let them get in close, really close. Charging EMP. So it needs to be inside the red circle. We want to kind of be doing some moving around so we get our evasion up so we don't die. They'll close in though. There we go. They've started shooting at us. Come on. Come in close. They're in range. Trigger the EMP. Okay. Now, we can install some cannons. Cannon shells. I hope you give me some. Captain, we're on our way. Mobilize your crew and install their weapon systems. ASAP, the cavalry are coming. Hold them off for just a few more minutes. Install cannons and connect them to the power grid. Survive until the strike force arrives. Okay, so now I just need to just up my... And here they come. Target the explosion and fire! Look, she comes around. Look at all this broadside. Mac. So I now want to plot. Join this. Something I need to do here. They've been destroyed. I'm aligning to jump. Congratulations, Captain. Your performance in the destruction of the pirate vessel exceeded all expectations. I did nothing. Your skill and bravery have not gone unnoticed. I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your help. As a token of our appreciation, consider the Astral Temptress now a part of your fleet. The ship was due to be scrapped, but we think it may have some years left in its structure yet. Farewell, Captain, your dedication, and the safety of the sector. Okay, their drones are like collecting most of the debris, unfortunately. Let's get it in here and try and get some of it ourselves. I really should have tried to get a drone bay on the Astral Temptress. UMC Celestial Hammer and the UMC Vanguard. We'll be naming the Astral Temptress now in one moment. Now, what have we been left with? Oh, there still looks like there's some reasonable loot here. So, railguns and cannons require crew to operate. The weapons control center can man them for you. Port railgun, port railgun, port cannon, port cannon. So, one officer with a 200 grand piece of kit, 10k crew rather than 5k crew, mans 4 bits of military equipment. It's pretty decent. That's everything else. I think we've installed our Gatling guns, which will fire automatically. So, the 2 railguns, the 2 cannons, this one officer will command, and then the Gatling guns, which are more of a perimeter defense against, you know, fighters, asteroids, will fire themselves. So I think the next thing to do is to maybe make the ship a bit bigger, increase our engine space, start getting production on board. Production, mining, only there was a tutorial for that. There is. That be next episode. We've advanced the bulk of the Trouble with Tiddlets story. We've completed the Wolf in Sheep Clothing storyline. What's left is Deep Space Industrialists, which is the main story about doing the Stargate and the Black Hole Sun. We now have we have 2 vessels. Like we could make it a gas barge or a construction barge, and I think a construction barge. I might take out some of this walling. This one is going to park itself up in a mining field and start generating goods for us. Let's start the next episode. I'll show you this ship kitted out. The Ulysses we'll see what our budget is like, but we might look to expand the back of the Ulysses a bit, and we will start the next missions. Thanks for watching. Catch you very soon.